Buckeye fans, welcome into a Friday night episode of the Buckeye Breakdown podcast. Anthony Moeglin hanging out with you tonight alongside my partner, Kevin Woidke, and we've got a fun show for you here as we close the week, the work week, if you will, getting ready and getting set for what should be a really fun game down at Ohio Stadium on Saturday night between our Ohio State Buckeyes and the Ohio University Bobcats. Before we get into anything, big news on the channel today. Kevin, I didn't even tell you about this, but we have officially hit 5,000 subscribers. So a big thank you to everybody following along, looking at our two ugly mugs every week and hanging out with us. We produce some fun content. We love doing this. So thank you, a true thank you to everybody who has jumped in, who has subscribed. I know we kind of beg for it every week. So really appreciate everybody jumping in there. And on that point, a continued PSA, a new home for us. You'll see it in the top left corner, or I guess right corner, whatever, right above Kevin's left shoulder there. A QR code to go to our new site, Buckeyes Roundtable. Brand new platform for us. I did a little tutorial on yesterday's show, so go over there, check it out, subscribe to that to continue getting our content. Yep, right there. Bang. Hey, Kevin, big brain Kevin over there. Kev, how we doing, man? How's the week been? It's Friday night. The vibes couldn't be higher as we head into another football weekend.
Good. My computer keeps jumping around, so if I cut out for a second, I apologize. I just turned it on for the first time today. It's my dad's computer, and it's all over the place. So
hey,
power through.
Big one tonight. Big one tonight. Walsh Judgment versus Iggy. That's all the Iggy you got on you. Big high school game tonight, obviously. Big night for high school football all around the state of Ohio. We got Walsh versus Iggy. I used to coach at Walsh. Of course, Kevin was a standout tackle for the St. Ignatius Wildcats back in the day. But should be a fun one. Obviously, you got week 4 of high school football, which, dude, it seems to always happen like this. The season leading up to the season, you wait. And then it starts, dude, and then it just flies by, man. High school's damn near halfway over.
Yeah, I mean, if Walsh doesn't win tonight, it's pretty embarrassing.
It's my guy.
That weird, legal pad that does the lines.
Reflog. What are we, 21.5 point favorite?
Yeah, who knows? That's so weird that someone chooses to do that.
Weird. Shout out my guy, Reflog. Hey, I'm clipping this.
So beyond weird, it is crazy.
Oh, boo-hoo, boo you.
That is insanely weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm rattled by it every time. But because the thing is, they have no idea what it is. It's just their own opinion. And it's weird that they go game by game and what games they choose to pick. I just think it's dumb. But anyway.
You think it's dumb because Walsh is 21.5 points?
No, I thought it was dumb when they did it when I was in high school. I'm like, who cares this much? It's high school football.
I got some good action last week on Glenville being 29-point dogs to Avon. Yeah.
Who is taking you on these other sides? Like if you're doing this, you gotta call the number.
Call the number. Hey, call the number.
That's incredibly crazy to me.
Hey, call the number, he says. We'll get into some we can't quite touch the gambling stuff yet. We'll get into a little bit of that a little bit later. But a fun night in high school football. But Kev, a fun night tomorrow for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Obviously, welcoming the little brother, if you will, of Ohio, the Ohio Bobcats coming to town. It's going to be a fun atmosphere, man. I think that, just in general, just like pregame, the fan, all that stuff, Ohio versus Ohio State, it doesn't have the feel of Iowa versus Iowa State where they're legit rivals. I think tomorrow could be a lot of fun for everybody involved. And then I think the play on the field, man, could match it. Could be a pretty interesting game. I don't think it's going to be close at all, but I think it could have some good spots in it.
I agree. I mean, when you have quarterbacks like Parker Navarro, who's been in college football for what seems like a decade and a half, they're a good football team. I'm not going to say until they're not. I don't know what we're favored. I know we're a heavy favorite. I don't know if we're going to be that heavy, but I think when you have a quarterback with that much experience going into an entertainment and into an atmosphere, not entertainment, environment, atmosphere like this, one of the only night games Columbus will probably have this year against the number one team that hasn't lost since November of last year. crazy people are like, okay, so they won 3 games. So they've won now 6 games where 5 of them against top
10.
5. Top 10, they were top 5.
Mm-hmm.
We're top 5 opponents. I mean, well, no, Tennessee,
Notre Dame.
8-9. So it's top 10. But then after that, it was top 5, top 5, top 5, top 5. And that's like that. So that's hard to come into. That's hard to deal with. But this is a seasoned team with some very good ball players that stuck around. Yeah. You didn't see a lot of people transferring out of OU going to high-name places. I didn't really do much research into it, but
except for Will Kazmarek, which we'll take him. We'll take him.
Well, that was years. That was years ago. I'm talking about this past season.
Yeah.
I mean, Parker Navarro, I guarantee was getting offers to go other places. He's not a bad quarterback. Right? He was throwing to my old teammate Sam Wiglis when Parker was a freshman and Sam was a senior. Sam was the best receiver in the MAC. That. I mean, it shows the difference in ability with how good our wide receiver room is. Like a walk-on who was getting some playing but not a lot was the best receiver in the MAC. That shows the difference.
Isn't it crazy too? Like, and I was talking about this the other night. This game's got the cool part about this game, at least from the OU perspective of it, is like there's a bunch of guys in there. Like you look through that roster, and it's hometowns are Cleveland, Akron, Columbus, where like name it, they're there. Cincinnati, Dayton, all the stuff. Like these are Ohio kids who had the dream. Probably, honestly, dude, probably very similar to you. Like, did you get offered from you or Mac? Did you get MAC offers when you were coming out? No, you just walk on. No, but still, like all these kids wanted to get the Ohio State offer, right? And a lot of them didn't, and didn't settle to go to OU, but could go to OU, and chose to go to OU. And I think that there's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because, hey, Ryan Day never called me or Brian Hartline never called me. Not that they would, but that's certainly not going to carry them to victory. But it's still going to be a cool thing for them to get to play in Ohio Stadium and to try to show on a national stage, like, hey, we can go and we can play on this in this environment against this competition.
I mean, yeah, Sam's a better football player than I was. Brecksville B walked on to Ohio State, played for the Rams, played for in the NFL he's currently in the USFL, whatever those one of the
crazy man. Yeah.
Great football player. I love Sam. Great football player, even better guy. But that is an example. Sam should have been offered from OU out of college. He wasn't. Yeah. There's a lot of people that were walk-ons at big name schools like Ohio. I mean, Jack Conklin not getting a Division I offer is one great example of people that not being that's what's crazy. Him being a walk-on at MSU. J.J. Watt was a scholarship kid at Central Michigan as a tight end and then became a perennial All-American at Wisconsin.
And a Hall of Famer, right?
Right, and a perennial Hall of Fame. He somehow got his hair back. Don't know what happened there.
Money talks.
But, I mean, that's an example of, sometimes these Ohios of the world, the Ohios, the Toledos, the Akrons, they sometimes miss it. And sometimes they hit it right on the head. And that's when you see a Will Kazmarek was a great tight end. He's obviously starting at the top tier level. He was one where they got it right to offer him a scholarship to go to OU. But then there's others that they don't get right, but they miss them and they go play at other universities and go walk on and spend 4 or 5 years on a practice squad like Sam and then transfer after year 3 or 4 and have 2 years of eligibility left and dominate the MAC. I guarantee other schools in the MAC wish they had Sam right out of high school because he didn't play in 4 years. I mean, or you have people that play in the MAC for all 4 years and then they go to play, they become a Hall of Famer like Julian Edelman, like Ben Roethlisberger.
Crazy, dude. The MAC produces guys, man. And Matt Rule talked about it today on one of the shows. I think he was on with the boys or something, and he was like, "Yeah," and he was laughing because Nebraska's on OU's schedule or whatever, however you want to say it. They're playing each other next year. And he's like, I looked at the AD and I said, why the hell are you scheduling OU? Like, OU is the one team in the MAC you don't schedule when you're playing football because they are always competitive. And Navarro is a big reason for that. And a lot of their guys. We talked about a lot of them all week long. They're going to be competitive, but it really goes through Navarro on offense. They're going to ask him to run the football. They're going to ask him to throw it. And I know Ohio State is going to make them pay. But regardless, Saturday night, tomorrow night in Columbus is going to be a ton of fun for everybody, and the atmosphere should be cool for both the fans and the players. I wouldn't be surprised, to see a bunch of green in the crowd tomorrow night, just because it's going to travel well and it's going to be a cool environment. So I'm certainly excited to be a part of it. But Kev, looking around outside of our game tomorrow night, there's some big games in college football this weekend. A bunch of top 25 matchups. What's one or two that are on your radar? We finally get the SEC to get a big time matchup on tomorrow afternoon. What are a couple that are on your radar that you're going to be watching tomorrow?
That's a good question. There's obviously OSU.
In the words of my boy PFT, thank you.
Huh?
In the words of my boy PFT and Big Cat, when someone says good question, they always say thank you. So thank you.
Oh yeah, great question. There's some really good games. I'm excited to watch. I think the noon game I want to watch the most is Wisconsin, Alabama. I want to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Up to Alabama. That's my noon game that will be on my TV. 3:30 is pretty obvious. Georgia, Tennessee, and then if Ohio State and OU gets out of hand.
You gonna split screen it?
I might. If Ohio State and Ole Miss gets out of hand, there's some really good football on tomorrow night. You have Arkansas, Ole Miss. Arkansas is a decent team this year. I think they're not rated, but I don't know who they lost to. I think they're 1-1. No, they're 2-0. They're unranked. Yep. They're a good team. Then 30 minutes later, Florida LSU kicks off, and Florida's unranked because they lost to USF. But I think they were just playing asleep. That could be a really good game. And if they knock off LSU, the SEC blows up.
Then shit hits the fan, right? Because LSU was in like a little bit of a deal last week with Louisiana Tech. You all right?
Just dribble.
Hey, it's Friday night. On Buckeye Breakdown. Hey, we're loose tonight. But that LSU game should be fun though, because we'll see what LSU is. Are they more so the team that beat Clemson? But like, what is Clemson even, right? Like Clemson beat by Troy needs a rat pulled out of their hats to win that game. So I agree with you. I think that one's got, even though Florida had that bad loss, like that one's got some juice to it.
Absolutely. And then at the same time, if that game is a nothing burger, if there's no good football on, Texas A&M and Notre Dame play. You can just hate them both. It'll be great. You can watch out of hatred. That there is some good football on tomorrow. 11th ranked South Carolina is playing the loudmouth at Vandy. See how that goes. And then the late night game, which that's the last top 25 game late night, is Utah versus Wyoming fighting Cowboy Mustang horse people.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know who Wyoming
Mustang
is.
Horse people.
Who's Wyoming's mascot?
The Cowboys.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So there's some okay. I'm going to bite my tongue on that. But yes, the Vanderbilt South Carolina game, very interesting. Another game that I find that I'm going to be locked in on. Well, not really locked in on. It's a 4:30 kick. I'll be able to kind of watch it during pregame. Is that South Florida Miami game? Like, all right, South Florida's 17-point dogs. Like, they're not supposed to win it. They weren't supposed to win last week, and they've got 2 wins over ranked opponents. Yeah, one was Boise State, but the other was Florida. There's 2 scenarios. There's 3 scenarios. If they get blown out, fine, whatever. If they keep it close, then you're like, okay, this team's real. If they beat Miami, they're in the top 10. They have to be a top 10 team if they beat Miami. Which
again, I think that it's the what time? 4:30. I think South Florida beat Boise, which was expected because Boise was ranked because they made the playoff last year. They lost a lot of good talent.
Good point.
That drops off. I think Florida viewed it that way. I do not think Miami is viewing USF. After they beat Florida, I don't think they're coming in asleep. Mm-hmm. They fight for the same recruits. They are like right around. I think it's like a hour-and-a-half drive from USF to Miami's campus. I might be wrong.
I'm not going to touch that one. I don't know. I don't know Florida. They're definitely close. Hey, I do know this. They're both in Florida, right? So
yes.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, they're not even close. 4 hours.
I'm going to say it's Tampa and Miami. I wasn't going to put you on blast, but I know Tampa and Miami aren't.
They're both recruiting South Florida. I mean, Miami had their first 2 games they played. They obviously beat Notre Dame, which was a close game, and I mean that I could have expected. I actually thought they were both frauds, so who knows? And then they beat up Bethune-Cookman, but only 45-3. And I'm saying only because you saw some actual top 5 teams play some Bethune-Cookman talent and blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's where it's a questionable team, in my opinion. Yeah. If you're not winning games by how you should win games, it is, it just, if your spread was 54.5 and you beat them by 42, like that's, it's just different. You only scored 17 points in the second half. And I mean, what's that? 28 in the first? Like, you should have done 28-28, if you're, in my opinion.
No, you make a good point. And that kind of brings me to kind of what I wanted to talk about with our game tomorrow night. And it was a big conversation last week. We had it a bunch of times, like, hey, do what you're supposed to do. Now, I'm curious to get your perspective on this. Like, Ohio State, big favorites, 29.5-point favorites as it is right now. But what I do think, and what I kind of discovered the other night was, hey, on the other side of this game is a bye week for the Buckeyes, right? Like, it is. You have like a little treat, like a little carrot at the end of it. Like, there's nothing to look forward to. There's no, you're not overlooking OU. And I think that, hey, Ohio State can have that, that they're going to use that as an advantage, right? Because they are not going to overlook the Bobcats because there's nothing to overlook too. And then you get a treat of the bye week after that before you start Big Ten play. So curious to get kind of your perspective on what you think the approach is going to be for Ohio State as they kind of look at that part of their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is you break it down into first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then the fourth quarter is the back half of the year. That's kind of how they broke this schedule down. The first quarter is Texas scrambling Ohio. Second quarter is Washington through Wisconsin. Third quarter is Penn State through Team Up North. And then the fourth quarter is where you win championships. And that is the Big Ten championship through the national championship. I think that you got to win each quarter. And I think that finishing strong today gives you motivation, or tomorrow gives you motivation to go into that second quarter with an attitude to you, with a, hey, we're a really good team. Let's play like it. Because you look at that, I mean, Washington, Minnesota, I'll be at Minnesota. Illinois, I will not be at because no one ever wants to go to Champaign. And then Wisconsin, I also will not be at because it's at Wisconsin. It is, I mean, those games aren't, I mean, obviously Grambling and OU are the lowest that will play.
Sure.
Minnesota's having a decent year. Illinois is, I compared them today on the phone with somebody else to Northwestern in 2018 and Indiana last year.
You said Indiana.
A talented team that has a very friendly schedule. Mm-hmm. And I think if it was how the old Big Ten was set up, I think we would see Illinois again in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
Because I think they're better than most of the other teams that they have to play, that they would have had to play in their side of the Big Ten, their division. So that's kind of my opinion. I don't know why I'm not at Illinois. But I'm trying to remember what I have that weekend. But it's different.
It's a good starting stretch in the Big Ten. And I do think that, like, this game, if there was a Big Ten game on the other side of it, like 1 week after, you could be looking at, hey, this could be a trap game. But, I think Ohio State's mindset is going to be solid going into this one because it has to be, right? They got nothing to overlook. And this team's mature enough that they certainly will not do that. So, Kev, when you look at this game against OU, what are some keys to the game? I got 3 keys to the game. What are your 3 keys to the game tomorrow that you're going to be looking for when you have it split screened up against either Notre Dame, Texas A&M, or LSU, Florida? Like, what are you going to be watching for the Buckeyes?
So I think we got to rattle, similar to my 3 keys to Texas. Number 1 is rattling Parker Navarro, and that is showing him defenses he's never seen before, and that is getting to him. Mm-hmm. I mean that. I forget what our over-under was for the OU game, but I think you've won the first 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. We had sacks on the over-under, and it was 3.5, and I don't know how many sacks. I think we had 2. I think we had 2 sacks that game.
Against Texas?
Yeah. But crowd got to Arch. Patricia got to Arch. He was rattled as heck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that all that goes into it.
Right. And I think that's my number 1 key. Number 2 key is – similar to last week, get the starters off the field as quickly as possible. The less chance they have of anything going on with them. My 3rd one last week was getting Jeremiah going, which it seemed like they did. By 1 this week is let's see Max Clare become who we thought he was going to be. And we're not really utilizing him very much. Let's start. This is the perfect game to, see if he is who we thought he was when we recruited him.
I love that. A good call out there for a guy who we want to see, right? 1 catch last week for just a couple yards, while all of the tight ends really popped off last week. Will Kazmarek had a good game. Jelani Thurman, the highest ranked tight end in all of college football last week. So a really good thing to keep your eye out for. For me, I'm sticking in the backfield. I want to see more out of the running backs, right? Who is it going to be? Bo Jackson obviously had a great game last week against the back end of Grambling's team, so not the best competition. So if he gets an opportunity, what does he bring to the table? James Peoples, let's see you continue to grow and be explosive. CJ Donaldson, what more do you have in the tank? How can you continue to improve your game and be more than just 3 yards in a cloud of dust? So definitely going to be watching for that. Want to watch for the defensive line too. How can the defensive line show their, make their presence felt, make their presence known on the football game? Because if you look at the defense, like that's the one area where you're like, hey, we, not pressuring the quarterback as much, giving up some chunk runs, things like that have to get cleaned up. And then, from the quarterback perspective, the last thing I'm going to be watching for is how does Julian respond after a great game, right? He played really well in week 1, came out and was flawless in week 2 against a bad opponent. What is he going to be in week 3? I'm just curious to see how the young man continues to deal with both adversity and success, because both are equally hard to deal with. So that's where my eyes will be while we watch the Buckeyes take on the little brother, the Ohio Bobcats, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. kickoff under the lights. Got the stripe game. Should be a sweet environment here. So Kev, as we get out of here, any final thoughts from the week as we put the end of our work week? We close the barn doors. Hayes in the barn for us, and finally ready for some football this weekend.
Yeah. Final thoughts is, get to this bye week healthy.
Yeah.
QR code.
Hit it.
Join. It's actually really cool. It's a cool platform. I'd recommend it. Trying it. I'm telling everyone about it.
Can we make a promise tomorrow? Hey, you'll be watching the game. Kevin will be active on Roundtable tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be in there. If anyone wants to jump in and talk to me, post in the community. I'll be there. It'll be fun. You want live reactions? You got questions about why a lineman did this, why something went down? Feel free to hit me up on there. It'll be a good time.
Let's get a video tomorrow, a little selfie video of a live reaction from Kevin.
Who are you, my boss? I think I got it.
Let's do that. Hell yeah. Let's go. It'll be awesome. Well, everybody, listen to what Kevin said. If you don't listen to him, he's going to come knocking on your doors, because go get into Roundtable. Super fun platform for us, and it's continuing to grow. We're continuing to build it out and add new features and stuff to it. So really exciting stuff there. But for our work week, we're getting out of here on that. The Ohio State Buckeyes, the Ohio Bobcats, are showing off tomorrow night at 7 p.m. inside Ohio Stadium. Should be a ton of fun, as we always do. We got a full day's worth of content tomorrow. A bunch of pregame stuff, a bunch of postgame stuff. So make sure that you are dialed in here at Buckeye Roundtable. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're reading all of our stuff below, making it really easy. Get to it through that QR code there. So for my partner, Kevin Woidke, I'm Anthony Moeglin. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on the Buckeye Breakdown podcast on Buckeyes Roundtable.